Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Fitz. We have just completed our stream of the Isle of Armor DLC, so hope you guys were able to catch at least some of that. We're here near the dojo with our Urshifu, our water type. So today we're going to be looking at the new moves that you can get in Isle of Armor DLC. So basically there's a move tutor. If you bring him Armorite ores, we'll go to him in a second. He'll teach you new moves. So we're going to be ranking them today. I looked at the data mine, and I'll link that below in the description for all the move sets, all the learn sets for Pokemon. And I took a look at what Pokemon learn what the moves do in a general sense. We'll probably still need to learn some more about them. But we're going to rank them on basically the scale of what the move actually does itself, the diversity in what Pokemon can use the moveset, and then its potential impact on the VGC metagame. We won't be looking too much at singles, so we'll be focusing on doubles today. There's one move that I think is probably better in singles than doubles, but we'll get into that in a second. So basically, if you want to get these new move tutor moves, you come to this man in the dojo. I think pretty early on you access him. You don't have to complete the entire DLC story, but if you have your Pokemon in your party, you can learn some of the following moves. So I only have Urshifu, but we'll go into what Pokemon learn what that I learned from the data mine. So let's get into it. So first up, we have Terrain Pulse. So this is basically a Weather Ball variant, just using terrain instead. So if there's no terrain on the field, it'll be a normal type move at 50 base power. It's a special move, so not very good. That move will double in power if there is any terrain on the field, and it'll become the type of that. So in grassy terrain, it'll become grass type, psychic terrain, psychic, and so on. So the problem with this, I mean, Weather Ball hasn't been great in the past, and it hasn't been a ton of Pokemon getting the move. Terrain Pulse is similar. Venusaur, Blastoise learn it, which are probably the best ones. Executor, Exploud are not really VGC relevant Pokemon. Indeedee was one of the only ones that I saw that could definitely make use of it since it can set its own terrain. The others would need support. So I'm going to give this a D grade. I don't think it'll see much use, but Indeedee can definitely make use of it. And if you're trying to support one Pokemon and make it really, really strong, you might be able to do that. It gives like Blastoise some coverage moves, that kind of stuff. So overall, not great. You don't really want to run like Venusaur and Rillaboom together necessarily. That's a lot of grass. But if you overload on it, maybe it'll work. I just don't see a ton of potential in it. Burning Jealousy is really interesting. So basically, if a Pokemon on the opposite side of the field, any opposing Pokemon, has had a stat boost during the turn, Burning Jealousy will leave them with a burn. And it does 70 base damage, so it's not that bad. You're giving up like a Flamethrower or Fire Blast, things that might have a chance to burn, but this is more of a guaranteed chance. The problem that I see with it is you probably want a slow Pokemon to go along with it, because you want like a Dynamax Pokemon on the other side to have gone, and then you get a chance. They might have gotten a stat boost that turn, like with Max Airstream, for instance, and then you're able to get that burn off. That's how I see it playing out. So something like Ninetales or Zoroark, they might be too fast for that kind of move. But actually Torkoal gets it, which is really interesting. Might give up Heat Wave for it. You could run Eruption and Burning Jealousy together, and that would probably be pretty good. And then Incineroar gets it, of course, and Grimmsnarl. So I think those two could definitely make use of it. And another way to be annoying, status conditioning the opponent. So those two already see play. I think this is a fun, doesn't necessarily need to be in their 4 move slots, but could make an impact instead of, like in Incineroar's case, maybe instead of Snarl, for instance. Incineroar definitely and Grimmsnarl have problems running only 4 moves. but I think we'll see at least people trying out Burning Jealousy, not for the damage, but for the burn chance. Next up we have Flip Turn. So Flip Turn was really highly talked about before the DLC came out, because people thought it was going to be so good. You basically have a U-turn, but water type. After I've seen it, it's base 60 power, not great. I think U-turn is 70. And the Pokemon that I saw getting it, Gyarados was not on there. I believe Gyarados cannot get it. So Blastoise, Kingdra, and Milotic were the VGC relevant Pokemon that I saw there. I don't see the need to U-turn out with those Pokemon. I think you would need like an Intimidator to make it good. Blastoise has Fake Out, so you can reset Fake Out. That's pretty good. But it's just in general a pretty weak water move. Weak physical water move. So like, that's why I thought something like Gyarados could make use of it, since its physical water type moves are like Waterfall or Liquidation. Flip Turn's a nice alternative to that, sacrificing power, but you get another chance to Intimidate. I gave Burning Jealousy an A, if I didn't say it. And Flip Turn I'm going to give an F. I don't see the value in it with the current learn set. So next up is Rising Voltage. So this starts the run on some interesting double power mechanics that we have going on. So Rising Voltage will double the move's power from 70 to 140 in electric terrain. So it doesn't fail without electric terrain, which makes it pretty good. It also is a special move. A lot of electric type Pokemon tend to be special. So Pikachu, Raichu, both interesting. Magnezone, Rotom, Galvantula, Toxtricity, Pincurchin, which already gets Electric Surge, which is a great pair, and I think it can be run physical or special. I don't think they're too far apart. Its base stats in physical or special attack. The Electric Fossils can get it, but I don't think they have like 90 or 100 special attacks, something like that. So I give this a B. I think once Tapu Koko comes back, I saw Zekrom gets this move. Then I think it's like an A++. But in this format, very few people are running Pincurchin. Some have run it to success. But for now, I'm going to leave it at a B. Cautiously optimistic on Rising Voltage. Definitely something to be scared about. I think terrains in general are going to be a much bigger part of the game, and it'll force people to maybe run Galar, Weezing, maybe run Pincurchin, and then there's a move later on that'll destroy terrains that I think people will have to run, because you have to respect how strong terrain has gotten with some of these new moves and Pokemon. So next up is Grassy Glide, another terrain move. This one, instead of doubling power, will create a priority move in grassy terrain, and then it's just a regular base 70 power move outside of it. So I think very few Pokemon get this move. So like Venusaur, Rillaboom, Serena were the VGC relevant Pokemon I saw. So really just Rillaboom, who gets its Grassy Surge, that's good. Serena gets a priority move, doesn't have to worry about missing Power Whips. Might be good. I give this a C+. I think it'll be on teams, you'll see it, but it won't like influence the metagame in a negative way or anything. It won't be overpowering. Triple Axel, I was about to give this like an F. It's a three kick attack move that increases in power each successful hit. So kind of like what Ice Ball should have been, I guess. We have to see what the power ramp up is like. If it's like Fury Cutter, maybe it's worth it. But the 90 accuracy scares me. I don't think people are going to run this. Alolan Sand Slash gets it. Weavile. Gallade's interesting. Chinchino, if it could hit 5 times, maybe. Not that great. Serena, if you max Serena, now it has ice coverage, I guess. I'm pretty negative on this one. I'll give it a C. I think it could be as low as D or F, but maybe better in singles as well. I'll give it that. Coaching. So coaching before the DLC I thought might be like Instruct. I was scared. I thought it could be way too overpowered. It increases defense and attack for its allied Pokemon, so like bulk up, but you're giving it away, basically. I'm giving it a D. So the Pokemon that I saw, a lot of fighting types get it, but I don't think a lot of fighting types make good use of it. Zeraora, if Zeraora was legal, could use it. It's very fast. It can pass it and then get a quick attack off quickly. So the ones I'm going to give it to that can actually, you might see used, is Poliwrath, because it has Swift Swim, so it can get to a pretty fast level, and Hitmonlee, which has Unburden, also can get to a fast level. Then it can coach some strong physical attackers and maybe make use of it. It's a very passive move. It can be Follow Me, it can be Rage Powder now that Moongus is back. So I'm pretty down on it. Yeah, I'll give it a D. Not a huge fan. Next up is Corrosive Gas. So this is the user surrounds everything around it with a highly acidic gas, melts away items they hold. Sounds interesting. To me, it's like a Magic Room clone, which got some use on like Spam teams in Ultra Series in VGC 2019. It can like mess with Xerneas' Power Herb, things like that. Items aren't like crazy strong in this format, but probably will be in like a legendary format. For now, you could definitely build a team around it. You could have like consumable items and get them off like terrain, seeds, that kind of stuff, and then use Corrosive Gas and ruin like the opponent's life orbs or choice items, things like that. But since Magic Room hasn't seen a ton of use, I'm probably going to give this a C. I think it can maybe get a little higher, but I don't think we'll see a lot of people using it. It has to be a very specific team to make it good. Everyone is scared of Scorching Sands, so it's a special earth or ground power ground move Scald. So it, I believe, has a 30% chance to burn. We'll have to confirm that. 70 base power is very strong. Since Scald is up there with Knockoff as one of the best attacking moves ever, probably top 2 right there, I have to give Scorching Sands an A+ for now, until we know differently. So Charizard learns it, Arcanine, Torkoal, a lot of fire types, Incineroar. Incineroar just getting all sorts of things that can burn things. I think Incineroar is going to be a special attacker in this format. I think it'll probably run Overheat, Scorching Sands, things like that. Its special attack isn't so bad, and its physical hasn't been really making a ton of use. There's some Iron Defense Pokemon that can't get through with Flare Blitz. So I think you might see more special incense, so stay tuned for that. Pylosand gets a Colossal, not as important, but yeah, I'm going to give it an A+ until we see otherwise, basically. Dual Wingbeat. I was going to give an F right off the bat. Don't like the 90 accuracy, 40 base power. A lot of flying types get Brave Bird, right? I'm like, why would you ever use this? So you use this because Scyther gets it and Scizor gets it. So I think you might, Scyther might be better for this move. So it's 40 base power, hits twice, and Scizor and Scyther get Technician. So it'll boost up their flying type moves a lot. Yeah, it's really strong with them. Probably you'd run Scizor just because you can max it and get the Airstream boost with this. But you don't really want to max a Technician Mon. I think people are going to try this though, for sure. Eviolite Scyther or like Life Orb Scizor or Choice Band Scizor. Definitely stay tuned for it. I think it's a better singles move, but doubles can make use of it. It just has a shallow amount of Pokemon that actually want to use it. Most Pokemon do not want to use this move. So for Dual Wingbeat, I was going to give it an F. I'll give it a B just because of Scizor and Scyther. So next up is Expanding Force. So this sounds really, really strong. Can't believe it. It's already 80 base power. It becomes stronger in Psychic Terrain, and it attacks both opposing Pokemon. This can be as strong as like Eruption, I feel like. In Psychic Terrain, you have Psychic Stab already. It's 80 base power. It'll get stronger. Crazy. So Alolan Raichu gets it, that's kind of interesting. Alakazam is new to the DLC. Indeedee and Hatterene are really the ones that I think we should be talking about since they were already a core. They love Psychic Terrain. I feel like it's too strong. I think, why are they making Psychic Spam so strong? Everybody hates it. Gardevoir gets it too. I know people like Gardevoir. It's seen some VGC use, but not much. I'll give it an A. Could go up to A+. I think it could be too overpowering. Skittersmack, I'm going to give a C. I kind of skipped over it. It's like Struggle Bug, but stronger. It seems like it can miss. I don't love that. And I don't think a ton of great bug types get this. So how many bug types are special in the, first of all? Maybe like Butterfree, maybe Vikavolt can use this. I think that's fine. I'm going to give it a C and move on. Meteor Beam. Nobody gets it. A bunch of physical rock types get it, so we're going to skip over that. And basically you need a power herb to make use of it. It's a 2-turn attack. It's like Skull Bash, but it'll raise your special attack on the first turn and then attack the next turn. So it needs power herb. The only thing I saw were fossils, and I don't think they want to use it, and Starmie. Starmie, maybe. Getting basically a choice specs boost without needing a choice specs. You can change up your moves. And a strong special rock type move, maybe that's good. Starmie's in a good speed tier for this format, so it might be underrated and it might actually be worth using. So don't lose track of it. I'm going to give it a D for now until Starmie actually sees usage. Lunala also gets it if we were in a restricted format, maybe. Maybe that could be used. I don't know if you'd want to use up your power herb on Lunala. Might want a better item. All right, next up is Poltergeist. So user attacks the target by controlling the item. It's a very strong special ghost type move, stronger than Shadow Ball, can miss. Don't love that. We're seeing a routine theme here. And move fails if target doesn't have an item, which is a little scary. Gengar, Rotom, Jellicent, Chandelure, Poltergeist, all good Pokemon that get it. It might cause people to run items that are consumables, like the Terrain Seeds. I think that's what it's going to cause. I think people are going to use this at the beginning of the format. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be less good as people get a little scared if there's an item being held or can be consumed before Poltergeist goes, because it can be such a negative if a move fails like that. I'm going to give it a B+. Early format could probably be an A. Scale Shot. I think this is the second F that I'm going to give out. It's a dragon type move that hits 2 to 5 times. Dragon isn't a great offensive typing, believe it or not. Only hits like dragon super effectively. And it can be learned by a lot of Gen 8 mons, so Dreadnought, Barraskewda, Sandaconda. Could give them dragon coverage if they didn't have like Outrage already, or if people don't want to run Outrage. But it's 90 accuracy on a multi-hit move. I hate that. If you've ever run Chinchino, you know the feeling I'm talking about. It just doesn't seem great. I don't think a skill link user gets it either, so I don't think you'll see any use of it. I'm giving it an F. Lashout seems terrifying. I think it could be on the level of that psychic move that's up above. So I saw Tauros gets it, which isn't as big. The big three that I found were Weavile, Tyranitar, and Obstagoon. I think Tyranitar definitely switches this move out, switches Crunch out for this, even Assurance. Since I don't know if you can self-lower your stats like Bulldoze. You could get a Bulldoze weakness policy 150 base dark type move. So I think you might see this paired with like Arcanine and Bulldoze. Unless it's like Defiant where the opponent needs to lower your stats. But even still, there's a lot of stats besides attack that can be lowered. So I'm very scared of this move. I think it'll be very good. I'm giving it an A. Can be stronger than Knockoff potentially. Can be the strongest move in the format in my eyes. So we're almost done. We've got 2 left. We got Steel Roller. Very unique move. probably situational, since it only works if there's a terrain on the ground. So it'll destroy the terrain. It does a ton of damage. It's like a Dynamax move, basically. 130 is crazy. I like it on a Lowland Sandslash. I think that could be interesting. Snorlax, Azumarill also get it. Scolipede, Pharaoh. Kling Clang finally gets a good steel move. Togedemaru, Delmise, Copperajah. So I like a few of those there. And it's physical. A lot of steel physical Pokemon to begin with. So yeah, I think I'd definitely give this a chance. I'd probably run it with your own terrain. And then you're either taking advantage of your own terrain. Your opponent might get in a war over terrains with you. And you always have a good chance to get that Steel Roller off. The only issue is if your opponent uses Steel Roller before you. So you might want to actually pick one of the faster Pokemon. I think people will memorize what Pokemon get Steel Roller very quickly because it's a terrifying potential move. And it has a few Pokemon that you wouldn't expect it, to get Steel Roller. So look out for it. I'm going to give it an A-. I think it'll definitely see some use on teams. You might never use it in a battle, but then there are going to be battles where it's absolutely necessary for you to win. So yeah, I like it a lot, especially with that Psychic move. Get terrains off the field, man, and it'll hit Hatterene strong. So yeah, I definitely like it. Misty Explosion is going to round it out for us. I don't see the point. This was one that I said might be better in singles. The point of Explosion is that you have a bunch of ghost types that can not take any damage from it. As your ally, you can explode, doesn't hurt as fly. Even with that, Explosion doesn't see a ton of use because you're giving up a Pokemon. You're already down to 3. You're hoping you can get your opponent down to at least 3 and hopefully 2 with Explosion. But with this, you have to protect your other Pokemon, most likely. That's not a great idea. It can be a best of one gimmick. That's all I can say about it. Alolan Weezing gets it, and it already has Misty Surge. That could be good. Azumarill has huge power, so I think you'd kill everything. If only you could damage like through Protect, then it would probably literally kill everyone. And Gallade maybe could use it. So that's going to round it out for today. I know this was probably like a 20-minute video. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hope you guys like this kind of content. If you do, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep posting some DLC videos that could be interesting to you guys from a competitive standpoint. So hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.